Welcome back to the Grande Prix. This is a series of Pokemon Nuzlocke races, and today I'm going to be competing in the second race of this series, and I'm going to be commentating my run. So last time we managed to secure a win by just 2 minutes. It was a crazy race, and today I'm trying to get another dub. If you look down below, this is the team that I've drafted this week. I'm feeling really excited about this team. Swinub was super great in last race. I've got a solid fire, water, grass core with Ponyta, Froakie, Morlul. I think Metagross is going to go crazy in the Elite Four, and we are off. So this is Pokemon Emerald Blitz. It's designed with speed in mind, so it cuts out all the fights except for the gym leaders and the Elite Four. And so we're just going to be flying from gym to gym. We've got our Flygon who can jump over ledges, can jump over cut trees and rock smash rocks. And we're in a race with 7 other people. We're trying to be the first one to beat the game. Let's see how we do. So I go to the berry shop, I get my berries, and I go to the first gym. And Emerald Blitz has some randomization to it. The gyms all appear in a random order. And so we start with Brawly. I'm pretty happy to get Brawly as my first gym. I think Spoink and Wattrel are both going to be really strong into this gym just because they have super effective matchups into fighting types. Alright, and here's the start of the Brawly fight. They lead Machop, I lead Spoink. We click Psybeam. Is it going to knock out the Machop? It is. One hit and that's all it takes. Spoink has really good special attack for this point in the game. And having a 65 power stab move that does super effective damage, it's just going to go crazy. I switch to Wattrel on a fake out, and I heal up all that damage by plucking the Citrus Berry. Fire Punch, it does pretty big damage, does about half my health, but this Makuhita is dead to one more pluck. Brawly stalls one more turn by using a potion, it doesn't matter. And last up is Farfetch'd. We pluck. They're not doing enough damage to me where I'm ever in any danger. And that is Brawly 1 down. Super fast first gym. I'm off to a really strong start. We're going to take a stop at the daycare. We're going to put our Swinub in here. If you watched the last run, you'll remember I put my Swinub in the daycare for Avalanche, and I'm doing the same thing here. Avalanche is just a super powerful move. It's a 60 power ice move, but it doubles in power to 120 power if you get hit in the same turn. So it just does crazy damage, especially in the early to mid game. And for our second gym, we have Juan and Wallace. They are a double battle in this game. They use the combo of Tatsugiri and Dondozo. Our team is looking pretty good into this fight. We've got Morlul to hit with grass moves. We've got Wattrel to hit with electric moves. So I'm feeling pretty good. All right, so we're starting the fight. We lead off with Morlul and Eevee. Eevee's going to be super useful because it knows Baby Doll Eyes, which lets me lower Dondozo's attack. It's going to hit a waterfall into my Eevee, but Eevee's never dead. In this game, Dondozo's commander ability means it can't actually hit critical hits against me. So even though it looks scary, I know that this Eevee's never going to die to a waterfall after it clicks a Baby Doll Eyes. And we're just going to click Sleep Powder a couple times on this Dondozo. The first time they have a full heal, but they can't full heal a second time. So this Dondozo's just dozing off. We get a big Mega Drain. And from here, we're just going to click electric and grass moves. And that's all we need to do. Even if the Dondozo wakes up, we've lowered its attack 2 times with Baby Doll Eyes. It's not going to do nearly enough damage to really be a threat. Even after 2 attack lowers, that's still crazy damage to the Wattrel. But we're totally fine. We take out the Dondozo. I got to get my Wattrel out of here because it's a little too low on health. So I'm going to switch to Frogadier. As a water type, it's going to resist other water moves. So Tatsugiri hits a water pulse. And from here, neither of these Pokemon are going to take too much damage. We can click quick attack with Frogadier, Mega Drain with Morlul, and just slowly chip this Tatsugiri down. And that is Juan and Wallace 2. So pretty good fight. It ended up being a little bit slow. So at this point in the run, I think I've fallen back to 4th or 5th place. which is a little scary. I want to be out in front for whenever I get access to the evolution stones. I want to get the first choice of Eevee. I think with this team, I have my eye on Umbreon. Normally, Sylveon is my go-to evolution, but I've already got a fairy type in this Morelull. So I think having a dark type is going to round out this team really nicely. Plus, I'm a little afraid of the Tate and Liza fight, so Umbreon's going to be super helpful there. Gym 3, we end up getting Viola. And with this draft, I've got a Bonsly who evolves into Sudowoodo right in time for the 3rd gym. So I'm feeling great about this. Piloswine's going to put in good work. Wattrel's going to put in good work. I'm going to level my guys. All right, and we're starting the Viola fight. She leads Surskit, I lead Wattrel. And I'm going to hit a big spark. Surskit's going to get off a sticky web. That means anytime I switch in a Pokemon, it's going to have its speed lowered by the sticky web. A little annoying, should be okay. This Volbeat unfortunately outspeeds, hits a Confused Ray. Is Wattrel going to hit through? No, unfortunately it's not. I decide to just keep going for another Pluck. Hopefully I can hit through Confusion. I do, and I even get a critical hit. So that does big damage. Wattrel's getting a little bit low now. So I look at my party, I think, okay, who do I need for the rest of this fight? Between Sudowoodo, Ponyta, and Piloswine, I should have plenty of Pokemon in the back, even if I get really lucky on Confuses. Hopefully I'm able to still clutch this up. I hurt myself in Confusion again. This Volbeat's using Double Team. Between Double Team and Confusion, I can't hit at all. So this is super painful. Oh my goodness. And Sudowoodo just can't even do anything. I go for one more Rock Tomb. Oh, it still misses. Okay, this is painful. But the rest of my team is looking really strong. As long as Ponyta can land a hit, I should be fine. Piloswine in the back is going to do crazy damage with Avalanche. The rest of Viola's Pokemon are Bug and Flying type. And finally, we're able to hit through Confusion and hit through Double Team and take out this Volbeat. That Pokemon is so annoying. I stay in against the Beautifly, and unfortunately, I cannot hit through Confusion. It would have been nice if I could. We're going to go to Metang here. It resists all of Beautifly's moves. It doesn't resist the Bug Bite, but we've got huge defense. We'll be fine. I'm not doing crazy damage with Metal Claw, but I'm doing enough to get a little bit of chip. Something in the back can finish this Beautifly off. Alright, and here things seem a little sketchy. I'm taking my time. I don't want to screw this up. And so I'm thinking through, alright, what do I need for the rest of this fight? It's just Ninjask in the back. Ninjask isn't too scary. And I decide to risk a crit on my Metang to get off that Metal Claw. And here, I actually switch in Ponyta. Ponyta's runaway ability in this game has been changed so that if you're under a quarter of your health, Ponyta will automatically get switched out. So it kind of works like Golisopod's emergency exit ability, except for a quarter health. This lets me get in a safe switch to Piloswine. I take about half from a Mega Drain, but because I got it in for free, I have a lot more health than I would have otherwise, and we can just take out both the Beautifly and the Ninjask with one Avalanche each. So I'm super glad to have gotten out of that fight deathless, but I really need to catch up. I'm in 4th place at this point, and I really want to be the first set in EV. So I use the rental feature here. There's a black market guy in Slateport City, and he will offer you a Pokemon to rent for $6,000, but you can only use it for one gym. And I decide I want to get the lead back, so I'm going to take the rental Pokemon. That's going to make the next fight a lot faster. And I get a super powerful Durant that I'm able to use in this Winona fight. And so I end up leading with Sudowoodo here. Rock types, very good into flying types. Dragon Breath hits me for very little. I click Rock Tomb. Boom, the Swablu's down. Okay, 1 Pokemon down, 3 to go. I gotta go fast. I want that Umbreon. Here I switch to my Ponyta. Do I switch to my Ponyta? No, I actually go to Durant. So I want to go to this on a grass move. It's 4 times resisted. I get a Bug Bite to heal this, to steal their Citrus Berry and heal up. And now Ironhead's doing about 1/3 of their health. So even after a Hyper Potion, we can just keep clicking Ironhead. And Durant ends up being really useful here for taking out the Stropius. Pelipper's coming in now. I'm probably taking big damage from a Water Pulse. I don't want to risk the Durant. If your rental Pokemon dies, the black market dealer is going to charge you an extra $6,000. And money is pretty tight in this game. I want to be able to afford all the TMs I need, so I don't want to risk it. We get in Kilowattrel, it takes out the Pelipper. Swallow's the last Pokemon here. Can't really touch this Kilowattrel. I go for a Spark. In hindsight, I don't think I should have done that because the Paralysis chance could have been bad with Swallow's Guts ability, but it doesn't matter. We're out of the gym. We did that gym in about 5 minutes, and because we were so fast, we were actually the first person out of Gym 4. That gives me the choice of any evolution I want. And as I said, I'm going to go with this Umbreon. It's going to make the Tate and Liza fight so much easier. Umbreon's just a really good support Pokemon in general. It's got high defenses. You teach it Snarl to lower special attack. You teach it Charm to lower physical attack. We're making a little pit stop to the move relearner. We want to teach Ancient Power to our Piloswine. That way it can evolve into Mamoswine. All right, Gym 5, it is Tate and Liza. Perfect timing because I just got my Umbreon. It knows Snarl, and it's ready to just go crazy against this team. Okay, we leveled up our Pokemon. Now's the start of the Tate and Liza fight, and we're going to lead off with Umbreon and Mamoswine. Super strong combination. Mamoswine's going to do crazy damage to Xatu, and Umbreon's just going to get off a Snarl, lower both Pokemon special attack. Huge avalanche into the Xatu. He goes down. In the back, it's just the Lunatone and the Solrock, and we're going to get our Mamoswine out of here. It's getting a little low on health. If it gets double targeted, I might be in a little bit of trouble. So we switch into Metang on an Icy Wind and a Psybeam. Doesn't do much, but we get confused. It's going to be a little bit annoying. And so I have the choice of either trying to hit through Confusion or switching out Metang. I decide to go for hitting through Confusion. Nothing's doing much damage to Metang. And we do get the Metal Claw, which is really nice. I decide to go for Bite with Umbreon to do big damage on this Lunatone. I really want to take it out. And because this Metang is confused, I decide to switch it out into Grumpig, just so that we have something that doesn't have to risk hitting through Confusion. Grumpig's also a Psychic type, so it will resist any Psychic type move used against it. Not doing too much damage with that Power Gem, but he's really just here to tank hits. Do a little bit of chip at a time. And this Umbreon's just going to keep snarling. Tate and Liza's Pokemon have such lowered special attack that I'm not really worried about anything. Lunatone's going to Calm Mind up to get a little bit of special attack back. That's okay. We're going to take it out with a Power Gem and a Bite. And now Solrock in the back is their last Pokemon. Baltoy keeps clicking Rapid Spin. Its special attack is so low that it's opting to go for physical moves. Incinerate burns Grumpig's Berry, totally fine. I go for a Power Gem plus Bite on Solrock. It does about half. We're just going to keep going for that combination. Rock Slide's going to do big damage. It flinches both of my Pokemon. That's horrible, but it's okay. We can switch to Shiinotic, and Grumpig's going to switch into Metang. And this combination of Pokemon should be fine in finishing off the fight. They are both weak to Solrock's Incinerate, but Solrock has very little special attacks, so I'm not too worried about it. We take fine damage. We weren't risking any crits or anything. Metal Claw plus Giga Drain is going to take out the Solrock, and all that's left is this Baltoy. Its special attack has been lowered 2 or 3 times. It's doing no damage with Rapid Spin, and we just take it out with a Giga Drain. That is Tate and Liza 5. Okay, we are in Gym 6. This is Norman's gym. It's normal types. And I've got a pretty good team for this. Graplocked as a fighting type is going to do big damage into their Pokemon. Metang has a steel type which resists normal. And One of the scariest Pokemon on Norman's team is this Hisuian Zoroark. It's a normal and a ghost type, so having the dark type Umbreon is going to be super useful for dealing with that threat. If you watched my last race, I had no good answer into that Zoroark. I had to sack my Simisear. Here I've just got a solid answer I can just switch in and 1v1 the Zoroark with. So that's going to make my life a lot easier. All right, here's Norman 6. He leads off Spinda, I lead off Graph Blocked. Graph Blocked is super slow, so we get outsped and get hit by Teeter Dance, but I gave this Graph Block the Persian Berry. Now we can just click Brick Break, boom, that's Spinda down. Next out is Slacking. Wait, no, this isn't Slacking. This is the Hisuian Zoroark. So we're gonna go to Umbreon on a Shadow Ball. He takes nothing. Umbreon has crazy high defenses. Its Dark type is gonna resist the Shadow Ball. We just click Bite a couple times. That's the Zoroark down. Oh, okay, critical hit. Got a little scary, but we're totally fine. Umbreon has huge defenses, both physical and special. Now, here's the real slacking. They're probably clicking a Hammer Arm here, so I decide to go Shiinotic. I think maybe there's a chance that they click Facade, but they go for Brick Break. That's great. I resist that move. And I'm going to start by using a Strength Sap. That'll lower the Slacking's attack. Now I can switch to Sudowoodo with the reduced attack. Okay, crit was a little unlucky, but we still barely took any damage. Now I'm going to switch out on either an Earthquake or a Hammer Arm back to Shiinotic. And we actually get Sleep off of Effect Spore, so this Shiinotic is putting in crazy work. I go for a Giga Drain here. The Slacking is still asleep, so I'm going to go to Graplocked here. There is a chance that the Slacking wakes up, but I'm not super concerned because it's at -1 attack. Graplocked has pretty good defense, and I'm okay with risking Graplocked. This isn't a Pokemon I'm planning on bringing to the Elite Four, so if I end up losing Graplocked to a crit, I don't think it's a huge deal. Graplocked has Detect, so every other turn we can just click the Detect move, and Slacking is going to have Truant on every other turn, so we can just protect on the turns it attacks, attack on the turns when it doesn't. And from here, Graplock's just going to click Brick Break a few more times, take out the rest of Norman's team, and that is Norman's 6. So we've just got 2 fights left. I'm feeling good. Our last 2 fights are Watson and Flannery. Okay, and here's Flannery 7. I've leveled up my Pokemon, and it's not the best team ever, but I think it's good enough. Unfortunately, Surf on the Marowak just leaves it at a tiny sliver. Probably was arranged to kill. And I check my IVs in Devastation. I've only got 10 special attack, and I'm like, oh, Greninja was so close. But it's okay. We've got Sudowoodo. I'm feeling pretty good about this Pokemon. Shadowbone is doing a crazy amount. Marowak holds the Thick Club, which doubles its attack, and we get a defense drop, so I know I'm just dead to the next Shadowbone. And I think, okay, what can I switch to here? I really don't have a good switch, so I'm just going to get off some damage with Sucker Punch, and unfortunately, Sudowoodo's going to have to go down here. That's okay. Sudowoodo wasn't going to be a Pokemon on my Elite Four team, and so I can just get out Greninja, outspeed. I click Waterfall here because Marowak has the Cursed Body ability, and there's a chance that my move is going to get disabled. So I'd rather have Surf over Waterfall. But they go with the Ninetales here. Ninetales has the Drought ability to set up Sun, and it has Solar Beam. So I don't want to stay in with my Greninja. I go to Rapidash instead. And here I make a big mistake. So I meant to give this Rapidash an ability capsule so that it had the Flash Fire ability. That would make it immune to fire type moves, and I just totally forgot to do that. So makes the fight a little more awkward. We're going to go into Grumpig. Grumpig's actually really strong here because it has the Thick Fat ability, so it takes half damage from fire moves. So we can resist their fire moves, hit with super effective damage with the Rock type Power Gem. And so this guy's going to be really good against the Ninetales. It has Hex, which hits me for super effective damage. But after 2 overheats, they're at -4 special attack. They're not doing much. And Flannery sends in Camerupt. Camerupt's a little scary. I think it's going to go for an Earthquake here. What do I end up doing? I contemplate for a while. This is a pretty critical moment, and I end up going for a Confuse Ray. I know that this is a sort of luck-reliant strategy, but I think on average it's going to give me pretty good value here. If we can get a turn of Confusion, and we do, that's going to be really nice for me. I'm pretty confident I'm not dead to an Overheat, even in the Sun, because of my Thick Fat ability. They don't even go for an Overheat, they just click Earth Power. After a special defense drop, I'm definitely dead to another hit. But I can just take out the Camerupt with a Psybeam. And now Magcargo comes in. This thing is totally fine. We have ×4 super effective Surf with Greninja. I'm a little worried about taking a Rock Slide or a Sun Boosted Overheat. It's totally fine. Magcargo's not the scariest Pokemon. And we come in right as the sun fades, so I get a Surf on the Magcargo. Torkoal comes in. I don't think Surf is going to kill from this range, but we get a critical hit, which was super nice. I think Greninja would have been fine. Torkoal probably would have just set up Sunny Day anyways, so don't think we were really risking anything. But the critical hit just made our lives a lot easier. And we've just got one gym left. It's the Watson fight. And I'm feeling pretty good about Watson 8 here. We've got Mamoswine, and it's going to learn Earthquake by level up, which is super nice. We don't even have to spend money on an Earthquake TM. I'm feeling pretty good about this squad. I'm going to level up my guys, and I'll cut to when the fight starts. All right, and we're starting the Watson fight. He leads out Alolan Golem, and I use Graplocked. Fighting is good against rock types, so hopefully this is a 2-shot. It's looking good. Stone Edge, it's a critical hit, but it's resisted, so we're only taking 47 health. That's totally fine. And now comes in the Raichu. It's electric and psychic type, so Umbreon has a good matchup as a dark type. We're taking barely anything because Umbreon just has crazy high defenses. And that's Raichu down. So already we're at a super strong start, super fast. Manectric comes in, and got probably a few different answers into this. I end up just going with Mamoswine. It's going to hit massive damage with an Earthquake. It's not even going to get hit by that Wild Charge. We get flinched by the Fire Fang. It's unfortunate. But now that this Manectric knows I'm Thick Fat, it's going to go for Crunch instead. And that gives me the opportunity to hit an Earthquake. Now this Electrode comes in. I go to Shiinotic because it resists both Grass and Electric moves. We can just hit Moonblast. Discharge is going to come out. Not going to do too much. Moonblast does just about half. That's perfect. One more Discharge. It's a critical hit and a Paralysis. Just about the most unlucky situation I could have had, but it's still completely fine. And last is Magnezone. It's a Steel type, so it's probably seeing super effective Flash Cannon. I end up going to Graplocked here just to sack it. I think this is the most consistent way of getting in my Mamoswine and just outspeeding and KOing with an Earthquake. It's not really a problem that we've sacrificed the Graplocked because it wasn't going to be on the Elite Four team anyways. And so I've just got the super safe switch into Mamoswine. I click an Earthquake. That is Watson down. We are done with the gym phase. We are, I believe, the first person to come out of the gym phase, but we are the first person to come out of the gym phase by 1 or 2 seconds. Freeze is right on our tail. So we have a super exciting race. It is anyone's game. I think KCH, not far behind. He's on Gym 8 right now as we are preparing to do the Elite Four. And I'm going to level up everyone, teach them all the moves I need, and we're going to cut right to the Elite Four. All right, it is Elite Four time. I'm just doing some final preparations. I'm giving Greninja the Mega Stone, and I'm going in. I'm feeling good. We get Sydney as our first member. Last time, Sydney was a monster. It took out my Chandelure with his Samurott. I don't want to lose anyone this time, but I'm feeling pretty good with this team. Shiinotic's Fairy type is going to be really strong against this. I think I've got good answers into most of his Pokemon, so let's see how the fight goes. We're going to lead with Greninja. Its protein ability is going to transform it into an ice type, and that's going to give me a clean one-hit KO on this Cacturn. Here's the monster, the Samurott. And I'm going to go to Shiinotic here. It is grass and fairy type, so it resists both the water and the dark stab, and Mega Horn's only going to be neutral damage. So hopefully I don't take too much damage here. I debate maybe clicking Strength Sap to lower her attack, but I decide to just go for Giga Drain. Mega Horn's not doing too much. We heal up most of our health with that Giga Drain, and I go Moonblast here on a heal. That's going to be enough damage to take out the Samurott. And we are in a great position here. Crawdaunt comes in. I could not have asked for a better Pokemon to come in. Facade is doing nothing, and we get a big Giga Drain to heal right back up to full health. This fight is going amazing. Absol comes in. I'm not even really worried about this. Aerial Ace, not doing nearly enough damage. We hit a big Moonblast. All that's left in the back is this Grimmsnarl. And we're a little too low. I don't want to risk dying to a Play Rough, so I'm going to go to Rapidash here. I taught it the Poison Jab move from the Move Relearner. Although, am I switching it out? No, I think I'm just going to go for a Poison Jab. Sucker Punch is going to do a good chunk of damage, but it's not a huge deal. Getting a Poison is really nice because we can just slowly chip this down. I don't want to risk a Sucker Punch critical hit, so I'm going to go to Umbreon. The Full Restore is really annoying. I don't think I planned that out correctly, but I should be okay. I know they're going for a Play Rough here. And so the two choices I really have, I can either Charm the Grimmsnarl or I can switch to Metagross. I decide to go for the Charm. And we actually do get crit, but Umbreon is so defensive that it survived the critical hit Play Rough. I was so shocked when this happened because I was like, oh, I know this Charm is risky. If I get crit by a Play Rough, I'm losing my Umbreon. I didn't even lose my Umbreon. That's insane. We get in the Metagross switch. We're not worried about a Sucker Punch because we've lowered its attack by 2 stages, and we can just outspeed and Meteor Mash, and that is Sydney down. So now we've got Lucy as our second Elite Four member. She's a Poison type user. I've got such a good team for her. Mamoswine's going to hit massive damage with Earthquake. Metagross resists, not even resists, it is immune to all poison moves, and it can hit super effective Psychic. Plus, it is Modest Nature, so we get huge damage off of Psychic. Mamoswine is a monster. It just gets 2 KOs right off the bat. Swalot comes in. Mamoswine gets a 3rd KO right off the bat. This fight is going crazy well. Dustox comes in. I'm just staying in with Mamoswine, clicking Earthquake, and finally Lucy has a way to stop this Mamoswine from just bulldozing her whole team. But we just get in Rapidash. Lucy uses a Full Restore. It's too little too late. We hit a Flare Blitz, take out the Dustox. And last is Overqwil. This is by far the scariest Pokemon, but we should be okay. Umbreon's going to come in and do what it does best. It'll weaken the Overqwil with a Charm. Pin Missile is super effective, even on 5 hits. I'm not worried about Umbreon. We could even take a couple crits, and it wouldn't even matter. We're going to go to Metagross here. On a Sledge Bomb is really nice. Crunch is doing super effective damage, but because of that Charm, I'm not taking too much. We get a critical hit and an attack raise. Could not have asked for a better outcome. We go Bullet Punch on a heal. Maybe not the most accurate play since they healed. And Meteor Mash just barely misses the KO, but we can click one more Bullet Punch. That is Lucy down. Okay, I'm flying through this Elite Four. This could not be going better. I get Glacia. I'm feeling really good about Glacia. She has a very scary Wall Rain, but besides that, I'm feeling great. Mamoswine is resisting ice moves with its Thick Fat ability. Rapidash is resisting ice moves and doing big damage with its fire type moves. Metagross also super effective against ice types. I have such a good team for this. I lead Mamoswine against the Sandslash. We can just get a one-hit KO with an Earthquake. Now here's the Walrein. This is the real big threat. I go to Shiinotic here to take a Surf. Now they're going to use Freeze Dry. I risk taking a crit with Shiinotic here. I also gave her the Lumberry just in case we got a freeze. So this does a little over half to the Walrein. I feel like this is pretty good damage. And I'm going to get in Metagross. I think that Hammer Arm might be able to kill from here. And let's see, is this Hammer Arm going to knock out the Walrein? Unfortunately, it is not. They're left with just a Sliver. And this Metagross is modest, which means its attack is lowered by 10%. Which is super unfortunate for us. It means that we had to have Glacier use the heal. I was potentially risking a critical hit on Surf, but I got lucky, and we didn't get a critical Surf. We didn't miss the Hammer Arm, and the Walrein was taken out. Now the Froslass is going to use Hail. Super annoying because its Snow Cloak ability means it is going to have increased evasion and Hail. I could potentially miss my attacks. This Blizzard could also freeze me. Luckily, none of those things happen. We don't get frozen. We hit through the Snow Cloak. And Glacier's down to just 2 Pokemon. Now, Ninetales comes in. It's a Fairy type, so it's clicking Dazzling Gleam. I go to Rapidash. It resists the Dazzling Gleam. We're just going to get a big Flare Blitz off. Easily take care of this Ninetales. We do get outsped, so we take a little bit of chip. Not a big fan of that. Should be totally fine. I do take a lot of damage from this Flare Blitz, though. Flare Blitz takes recoil based on 1/3 of the health that you deal. And so I click another Flare Blitz on Glalie. My Rapidash goes down. I totally screwed that up. I did not think Rapidash was dying. And I did the calc after this run to see how much damage in recoil I was taking from Flare Blitz. It was exactly 54 HP. Rapidash was on 54 HP. If Rapidash had 1 more HP, he would have lived that. So, not a great loss. Rapidash would have been nice to have, but I don't think I really need Rapidash for the rest of this run. I'm just going to keep going. Second and third place are like right behind me, so I just got to keep up the pace. Brandon should be pretty good for my team. He uses ground and rock type Pokemon, so Shiinotic and Greninja are both going to be really strong here. Shiinotic's going to get this Giga Drain on the Swampert. We're already 2 Pokemon down on Brandon. He goes Regirock. This thing shouldn't be a big deal. We're going to put it to sleep. We're going to click Giga Drain a couple times. Alright, and is that going to be enough damage for a 2-hit KO? Let's find out. It is. That's massive. So Shiinotic's at full health. We've got 2 Pokemon in the back. Flygon uses Earthquake. Really unlucky critical hit there. Now that my Shiinotic was crit, I do not survive a Stone Edge. And that's really bad. Because I wanted to just stay in with Shiinotic and click Giga Drain, finish off the fight. Shiinotic is so slow, it gets outsped by Rhyperior. So somehow I have to get in this Greninja, but I'm afraid that I'm going to either get hit by a Mega Horn or this Stone Edge is going to crit. So now I need to figure out how am I going to get in this Greninja. I know once Greninja's in, it outspeeds, it KOs with Surf. But it is difficult to get it in risk-free. And I realize that if I can get my Metagross in, they're always going to click Earthquake. Earthquake doesn't have a high critical hit chance, so we are risking a 1 in 24 chance for a critical hit Earthquake. But I think that's the best odds I'm going to get. So I switch in Greninja, Earthquake hits. It's not a critical hit, so we get the 23 and 24 chance. I think I played that as risk-free as I possibly could, and we're just going to Mega Evolve and Surf. I don't think the Mega Evolution was necessary, but why not? Maybe wasted a couple seconds on the animation, but we've still got a full team of 5 going into Wally, and I know this Greninja is going to put in crazy work here. I'm feeling pretty good, but I am a little nervous. Having Rapidash fainted. It's definitely not ideal. But I'm still feeling pretty good. And so I lead Greninja here against the Wally fight. Wally leads Roserade. And you would think this is a bad matchup, but because of Greninja's protein ability, I transform into an Ice type on the first move using Ice Beam. I also get a freeze, but Roserade thaws out, so it doesn't even matter. I don't know what's happening here, but we get a KO on Roserade after 2 Ice Beams. Wally has just 5 Pokemon left. They send in Magnezone, and I decide to go to Mamoswine on a Discharge because it's immune to Discharge. I do spend a little bit of time thinking about this here. Oh, I actually go to... Oh, right, I'm an Ice type here, so they're going Flash Cannon. Okay, well, past me had figured that out. Current me would have lost my Mamoswine to a Flash Cannon there. Now we go for an Earthquake. Unfortunately, this is sturdy Magnezone, so it's not going to get taken out. And they're just going to fire back with a Flash Cannon. That's going to take out my Mamoswine. It's alright, though. We're going to go to Greninja here. Now, normally, Electric is a super effective matchup against Water, so conventionally you wouldn't think this is a good matchup. But I know they're going to Full Restore here, and after the Mega Evolution, I've got 130 base special attack. Surf is going to do big damage. It is enough to 2-hit KO this Magnezone, and Wally just got 4 Pokemon in the back. Now here's the Gallade. This is his Mega Evolution, and this thing is a real threat. I'm going to do a little bit of switching to stall out the Mega Evolution. Mega Evolutions only last 3 turns in this game. And so we switch to Shiinotic on a Leaf Blade. We go to Umbreon on a Psycho Cut. And then we go back to Shiinotic on a Close Combat. Close Combat's going to lower both of Gallade's defenses. And I don't think Shiinotic's going to live another hit. But we get the effects for Gallade falls asleep. This could not be better for us. Gallade is asleep. We're going to Strength Sap to lower Gallade's attack, heal up all of our HP. And now that they've had their special defense dropped with that Close Combat, Moonblast is just going to destroy this Gallade. Wally has 3 Pokemon in the back. I am in such a good position. And here's the Azumarill. I know Metagross is going to be a good matchup against this, but I don't know if switching straight into Metagross here is the best play. So I decide to just sack the Shiinotic, but it literally gets the effect Spore. So Azumarill falls asleep. We hit Giga Drain, and it's a critical hit. This Shiinotic is the greatest Shiinotic of all time. But it's not really doing much for the rest of this fight. We end up just going with an Umbreon switch here. There is a world where Shiinotic is able to finish off the Garchomp in the back, so I decided to keep it alive. Umbreon's going to get a Charm off on this Talonflame, and now we're taking pretty much no damage. We can just get off a Screech, click Bite a few times. Talonflame's going to stall us out with Roost. It's totally okay. One more bite should do the job. And Talonflame's down. There's just 1 Pokemon in the back. We get the Flame Body. It's a little unfortunate, but this Garchomp's just going to outspeed and KO us anyways. And we have our Greninja. It can turn into an Ice type, hit a massive Ice Beam. It outspeeds the Garchomp. And that is the Wally fight. And so with this crazy pace, I end up coming in first place again. That is 2 back-to-back victories. Freeze was on the champion at the same time as me, entered the champion about a minute after me. Did not have enough Pokemon to finish the fight, so they ended up wiping. KCH ended up coming in second place. He beat the champion about 5 minutes after I did. And you see the time, 1:34. Shiinotic was the MVP. Shiinotic went crazy in this run. And it was a steal. I only got it for 2,200. So I think people might be sleeping on that Pokemon. I don't know. But anyways, that was my run. Once again, I got first place. Is anyone going to be able to take me down? We're going to find out. So thank you for watching. If you want to participate in one of these runs, I've linked the Discord down in the description. on the screen, I have the results of this race, and I will see you in the next video.